At the beginning of the film, we see that a zombie virus has broken out across the Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, Captain Jung-seok is taking his sister and her family to a ship that is set to leave Korea. On their way, they come across a man with his wife and two daughters who desperately ask for help. Jung-seok notices bloodstains on the man and assumes that he has been bitten by a zombie. Fearing the worst, he ignores their pleas and moves forward. The man's wife begs him to at least take one of their daughters to safety, but Jung-seok refuses and drives away, reaching the ship just as it departs from Korea. The ship was originally supposed to head to Japan, but Jung-seok soon learns that it is actually being redirected to Hong Kong. As he goes to confront the captain about this, an infected passenger in the cabin transforms into a zombie. Panic spreads throughout the ship. Jung-seok's brother, Chul-min, who is in line for food, also becomes aware of the situation. Realizing that his sister and nephew are in the same cabin where the infection is spreading, Jung-seok rushes to them. On his way, he encounters a zombie outside the cabin and shoots it. Upon entering, he finds that everyone inside has already been infected, including his nephew. His sister is holding onto her son, reluctant to leave him despite the impending danger. Within moments, the infected passengers turn into zombies and begin attacking. Jung-seok tries to fight them off but is paralyzed with shock when he sees his nephew biting his own mother. Meanwhile, Chul-min arrives at the cabin, but Jung-seok stops him from entering by shutting the door. Helplessly, he watches as his sister is overrun by zombies. The story then jumps to the present, revealing that this tragic event happened 4 years ago. That ship was the last one to reach Hong Kong, carrying both survivors and infected passengers. A flashback shows Jung-seok and Chul-min struggling to survive as refugees in Hong Kong, where they are treated with hostility by the locals. One day, a gang takes them to meet their leader, who offers them a dangerous job. A team of 4, including Jung-seok and Chul-min, is assigned a mission to return to the now quarantined Korean peninsula, which is overrun with zombies. Their goal is to retrieve a truck containing $20 million. Each team member is promised a reward of $2.5 million upon completing the mission. Before they set out, they are given specific instructions about zombies. The gang leader informs them that zombies suffer from night blindness and rely on sound to navigate in the dark, making nighttime the safest period to operate. They are also provided with 2 satellite telephones, which they can use to call for extraction once the mission is complete. Upon reaching their destination, they locate the truck's last known position. Jung-seok approaches a vehicle to inspect it but realizes it is the wrong truck. As he turns back, he hears a strange sound coming from a nearby collapsed glass building filled with zombies. Cautious and uneasy, he rushes back to the team and they continue searching. Eventually, they find the right truck. This time, Jung-seok does not go alone. Chul-min and another team member accompany him. However, they are being watched by someone in the shadows. When they open the truck, they confirm that it is filled with money, successfully completing the first part of their mission. Just then, they notice the truck driver, whom they assumed to be dead, suddenly turning into a zombie. As Chul-min enters the truck, the zombie lunges at him. In the chaos, the truck's horn blares, echoing through the area. The loud noise immediately alerts all nearby zombies, who begin rushing toward them. Unlike the slow-moving zombies seen elsewhere, these are Korea's fastest and deadliest zombies, and they close in at an alarming speed. Jung-seok quickly eliminates the infected truck driver while one of their teammates starts the truck. As Jung fires at the approaching zombies, their numbers grow overwhelming. Chul-min climbs into the truck, and Jung follows just as the vehicle roars to life. Despite the chaos, they manage to escape. Before they can use the satellite telephones, flares suddenly illuminate the area. It was a trap designed to lure the zombies toward them. As expected, the creatures charge toward the light, forcing them to speed away. In their rush, they lose control, crashing the car and colliding with the truck. Jung is thrown from the vehicle and, upon regaining his senses, sees his 3 teammates dead. However, Chul-min had actually hidden at the back of the truck, and the driver was still alive, but Jung had no time to check. Zombies swarmed around him. Just as he is about to be overwhelmed, a speeding car appears. A girl named June is behind the wheel, with her younger sister, Yoo-jin, in the passenger seat. They quickly pull Jung inside and race away. Jun expertly maneuvers through the hordes, narrowly avoiding disaster. As they approach a bridge teeming with zombies, Jun parks in a hidden spot. Thinking quickly, Yoo-jin pulls out a high-tech remote-controlled car, using it to distract the zombies. With their attention diverted, they slip away safely and return home. It turns out that Jun's parents are the very same people Jung had ignored for years ago. The little girl in their arms back then was none other than Yoo-jin, the child he had refused to help. Despite his past actions, they had saved him. Meanwhile, a gang called Unit 631, led by First Class Hong, arrives at the wrecked truck. Finding the driver still alive, Hong mercilessly kills him instead of offering help. This gang is just as ruthless as the zombies themselves. They had been the ones who set up the flare trap, hoping to claim the truck, believing it was filled with food. Once they seize it, they take it back to their military compound. At the same time, Jung notices that Jun's father, Elder Kim, is trying to contact a military officer named Jane via radio. He hopes she can help them escape, but military evacuations had been shut down years ago. Deep down, Kim knows no rescue is coming, but he clings to the slim chance. When they discover that Jung is from Hong Kong, they are surprised no one had come to save them in 4 years, yet people were now willing to risk their lives for money. Jun's mother asks Jung about his other teammates. He sorrowfully explains that they were all killed. Elsewhere, Unit 631 discovers Chul Min while searching the truck. They take him captive and force him into a brutal survival game, where prisoners must fight zombies for the gang's entertainment. A crowd eagerly watches as the horrific match unfolds. Chul Min barely survives the first round. Back at the compound, a gang member checking the truck stumbles upon the money and satellite telephones. Shocked, he immediately reports it to Captain Seo. When Seo turns on one of the phones, a call comes through. He learns that the truck is part of an operation, and whoever delivers it safely will receive a reward and an escape from Korea. Without telling anyone, Seo decides to take the truck and flee with his partner. Meanwhile, Jung and the others plan to infiltrate the military compound at night to recover the satellite telephones and escape. Before leaving, Jung approaches Jun's mother to confess his guilt about not helping them years ago. To his surprise, she responds calmly, saying it no longer matters. As night falls, Jung and the group set out. However, they don't go straight to the compound. Jun's mother stops the car at a distance, allowing only Jung and Min Young to approach the truck. They find the satellite telephones, but to their dismay, they are broken. Just then, Private Kim, Seo's accomplice, appears, pointing a gun at them. He reveals their plan. He and Seo intend to take the truck and escape, leaving everyone else behind. Seo had already learned the truth through a satellite telephone in his room. Realizing this, Jung immediately understands that they have Chulmin's phone. Kim confirms it, revealing that they also have someone who was part of that brutal game. Upon hearing this, Jung bolts, trying to save himself. But before he can think, Captain Seo arrives, firing shots instead of exchanging words. Min Young reacts quickly, ramming the car into Seo, knocking him down and grabbing the satellite phone from his pocket. However, the noise from the gunshots draws in a massive horde of zombies. Jung rushes to Chul Min, arriving just in time to save him. They barely manage to escape, but before Jung can fully get away, a zombie grabs him. Chul Min now has a choice: run for his own life or save Jung. Without hesitation, he chooses the latter, shooting the zombie and freeing Jung. Just as they think they've made it, the game's cruel leader, Sergeant, shoots Chul Min in the back. Jung watches in horror as his friend collapses, lifeless. Frozen in shock and grief, he can't react. His entire family, his only allies, are gone. Sergeant prepares to shoot Jung next, but before he can pull the trigger, Min Young arrives in a truck, yelling for Jung to get in. He scrambles inside, but the vehicle is already under siege. Zombies are pouring in through the broken windows. At that moment, a car's headlights flash. It's June. Clever as ever, she turns on the lights to lure the zombies away. The distraction works, and Jung, Min Young, and the others seize the chance to escape. However, the gang is still in pursuit, determined to stop them. June crashes into several of their cars, but she soon finds herself facing an equally skilled driver. Yet, she is more experienced and outmaneuvers him. Just when they think they're in the clear, the gang leader comes up with another trap, turning on the headlights of multiple vehicles. The bright lights once again draw the zombies directly into their path, but Jun skillfully finds a way through, while Jung methodically shoots out the headlights, clearing their way. Their truck barely makes it through, but the remaining vehicles are quickly swarmed by the undead. They finally reach the seaport and see the ship, ready to depart. Relief washes over them, but before they can board, a car rams into them. Min-young looks up, shocked her entire family is inside the other car. Behind the wheel is none other than Captain Seo. Seo steps out, gun raised, ordering them to surrender. His rage is evident, and he looks ready to kill Min-young without hesitation. But once again, Yoo-jin comes to the rescue. Using her remote-controlled car, she distracts Seo, allowing Jun to break free. However, Seo quickly spots Yoo-jin and aims his gun at her. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, a gang member steps in the way, taking the bullet instead. Enraged, Seo then shoots Min-young in the leg as she reaches for her gun. Seizing the opportunity, he steals the truck and speeds toward the ship, leaving the others stranded in the peninsula. Seo arrives at the ship, certain he has won. He hands over the truck, expecting safe passage. But the moment the crew checks the truck and finds the money, they turn on him, breaking their promise. They open fire. Wounded but still alive, Seo refuses to go down without a fight. He reverses the truck at full speed, crashing it into the ship's entrance. The doors burst open, and in floods a horde of zombies. The chaos spirals out of control as the undead tear through everyone on board. Seo, injured and struggling, is quickly overrun. From the shore, Jung and the others watch the horrifying scene unfold. In that moment, they realize the person who had taken a bullet for Yoo-jin was her own father, Elder Kim. But his wounds were too severe. He slowly fades away in front of them, and soon, he is gone. As grief takes hold, a military helicopter suddenly appears in the sky, flying directly overhead. Hope surges through them. They wave frantically, signaling for it to land. But there's one last heartbreak. Min-young, wounded and exhausted, can't run anymore. Zombies are closing in on her fast. Jung, knowing he can't leave her daughters behind, makes a solemn promise. He will protect them. With no other choice, he carries Yoo-jin and Jun to the waiting helicopter. As they lift off, Min-young stands her ground, facing the oncoming swarm alone. Sitting in the truck, she slams the horn, the loud sound drawing every zombie toward her. The undead swarm her vehicle, surrounding it completely. Meanwhile, near the military helicopter, they realize that their rescuer is none other than Major Jane, a very person their father had mentioned to them before. A wave of relief washes over them, but Jun quickly remembers her mother is still out there. Desperate, she pleads with the soldiers to help save her, but the soldiers refuse. The situation is already out of control, and they aren't willing to take the risk. June, unwilling to accept their decision, grabs a soldier's gun and points it at them. Tears fill her eyes as she declares she won't leave without her mother. But before she can do anything, her eyes land on Min-young in the distance. Her mother is preparing to take her own life. The sight is unbearable. June screams, unable to hold back her emotions. Jane, watching the scene unfold, coldly remarks that Min-young is making the right choice, that this is the best outcome for her. Both sisters break down, sobbing. Jung watches them, and something shifts inside him. Memories of his own dying sister flash through his mind. He had once been the kind of person who would say, "I tried, but it was no use." But this time, he refuses to let history repeat itself. Without hesitation, he takes off running toward Min-young. Seeing this, something stirs inside her where there had once been only despair. A small flicker of hope reignites. Instead of surrendering, she lifts her gun and starts firing at the approaching zombies. Jung fights alongside her, taking down the creatures one by one. Every step is a battle, every second a fight for survival. The undead close in from all sides, but they keep pushing forward, refusing to give up. After an intense struggle, Min-young finally reaches the helicopter. Exhausted but alive, she climbs aboard. The family is reunited at last. As the helicopter takes off, carrying them safely away from the peninsula. A wave of relief washes over them. And with that, the story comes to an end.
Enjoying the video? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. Your support means a lot.